Greetings everybody, welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to do another card sorting or kind of card handling video. This one is called the Mindful Meditations. I have not opened this or looked at it before. So I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it would be kind of cool to kind of explore it together. So I thought I'd also do a little of tracing my handy pen here. If there's any cool things to trace. So I really like this blue color on the inside. So that's the inside of the box. Gonna set it up there. And these are the cards. There's actually a little, I think there's a little manual or something to flip through. I think these are still part of the cards. These do seem like, oh, maybe they're double-sided. Okay. I thought they'd all have a single similar back. Which some of them have the similar stripes. That's also on the front of the box. Maybe I put it up like this. But there is there's nothing below there. So we're going to set that up frame. And this is the little manual. The contents. So welcome. How to use the cards. This card is very versatile. You can use any card at any time of the year. You can pick up one card each week to focus your mindfulness practice, or one for each day. You can pick up one off the top of the deck, or shuffle them and pick one up at random, or lay them out and intuitively pick one that appeals to you most. On one side you'll find a meditation or mindfulness tip. On the other, or on the reverse, you'll find an inspiring quote or affirmation. If you wish, place your card into a small wooden stand provided, and put it wherever you will see it most easily for your practice. If you have a dedicated area for meditation at home, you might choose a special place to display your card. If you use these cards at work, you may want to create a special space on your desk, or simply hold your chosen card in your hand before practicing the exercise. So there's a handful of pages in this little pamphlet book, or instruction book. tells you some things and goes over some how to use and all that stuff. And I kind of like how, I don't know if you can see very well, but on the edge of this, it's held together by thread. Maybe I'll see a little thread hanging out. It's so beautiful. It's kind of a little thread to hold the book together. I think it's kind of a nice touch. So that's the little pamphlet. So look through them and see what we've got. So I got this. I totally believe in myself. So high five yourself. Stand in front of a mirror. Look at yourself in the eyes and raise your right hand and give yourself a high five. You can make this a morning habit, or you can try anytime you need a boost. When we high five others, it signals to them and ourselves that something is positive, that something positive is occurring. When you high five yourself, you send that positive signal to you. Give yourself a smile and recognition and say, you've got this. So we can trace out these letters. I've got this. I totally Here's a little wooden card holder tray, but I think it's in another drawer. So maybe next time I'll have to find it. So we can try and shuffle these. Or I'm not doing a very good job at it. So let's grab another one. You will name it like this. This one over here seems to call to me. Let's give this the uppercut. I choose to handle all my experiences with love and joy. That's kind of a cool mantra. In the palm of your hand. Put your attention in the palms of your hands. Notice the unique lines and the texture on your skin. Visualize the bones and the muscles underneath the skin. Open and close your fingers and thumbs and give thanks for all your hands do for you. I do think about this one a lot because sometimes if I'm like holding my phone when I need to do something, or maybe like I'm reading because I'm kind of addicted to my phone. So if I'm like reading something or watching something and I'm like, maybe I need to grab something or buckle a backpack or do something one-handed, I always think about if I only had one hand and how much more difficult doing things everyday life would be. So, because I'm using my phone every day and have it in my hand most of the day, I'm often giving thanks that I have both hands that I can just set down my phone if I need to, and then use my other hand for whatever task I have. So, I definitely am very grateful for hands and my fingers and all they do. So that's a good card. I like that one. Maybe we'll sort through some of these until we find a good one. We probably put him back in the middle of the pile. Oops, that one fell. Maybe we'll use that one. Maybe it fell for a reason. I like these triangles. Kind of 80s, I think. Sort of reminds me of a trapper keeper. I feel like in the 80s, early 90s, all those designs were very shape-oriented, like kind of basic shapes. So a lot of triangles and squares, circles, rectangles, sometimes like squiggly lines. It's kind of the design for a lot of things I remember in the 80s. Be led by your dreams. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So, let's hold this up a little bit. Focus on the flame. Keep safely in mind. Light a candle or a tea light. Focus on the flame. Watch how it flickers and dances. Allow your thoughts to melt away as you give all your attention to that small light. Watch the flame for 5 minutes or as long as it takes your mind to clear. It's kind of a cool thought idea. Let's do another manual sort. Try and sneak some of these in between the other ones. Can make the edges all nice and straight. Put them at just a bit of an angle so we can get new ones in there. I wonder if you can hear the wind in the wind chimes. I have a wind chime that's attached to a tree outside my house. And normally wind chimes have the chimes around, and then there's that string it's attached to, like, because it's a paddle or something. I'm not sure what their real name is for it. But mine broke off a few years ago, and I think it made it just perfect because with it on, it was nice. But when there was any wind or heavy wind, it would just kind of be sort of loud and clanky and annoying. But how it is now, the little flapper on the bottom. So let's say this is the string and the chimes are all around this. And there's the flapper on the bottom. Let's say this card is a flapper. And then there's a kind of round little donut around the string that actually knocks against the chimes. So this part is broken off, but the string and the donut is still there, which catches just enough wind that it gently bangs against the chimes. And I think it's perfect. It's just enough. It's windy enough to kind of hear him, and I just think it worked out great. They're good tones. I love the wind chime sound, so yeah, kind of I digress, I guess the phrase you would say. Alright, let's grab. There's one in here. I think I can see. Set these right here. I nurture new and positive thoughts of myself. I think I said I nurture new and positive thoughts of myself. It's actually for myself. So then on the back, it says to plant a tree. Trees are the lungs of the earth. Plant or imagine planting a tree in your own garden or in a community woodland. As you dig the ground, reflect on nourishing earth that feeds us. As you plant the sapling, consider the vitality of the life you are planting and nurturing. As you water it, commit to plant your own new thoughts and nurture and grow. Draw your tree if you'd like, paying attention to the branches, the roots, leaves, and buds. Set that one over here for a while. I think these cards are too new to do the old shuffle in now. Maybe. Every time I get a new deck of playing cards, I always hate shuffling them, because every time you open them up, they're like fresh, cut from the factory. Because generally they'll lay, at least from what I know of, factory and cards, which is not a lot or nothing. But from what I gather is they lay all the sheets out with, let's say, your ace down here, your twos on here. There's a whole sheet of them. And then they lay them all out, and they cut all of them. So they're in perfect chronological order. and they're cut so all the edges perfectly lined up from the shear. So every time I get a brand new set of cards, I hate to pull them apart and then shuffle them like I'm doing now. I always just want to keep them as nice and tidy, straight, and sharp edges as I can. So that's just kind of me. These ones aren't so bad because I know there's no order to them. Oh, look, same card design. It's okay to bloom in my own time. I think that's a really cool phrase. I personally think I'm a slow bloomer or a late bloomer. Like I pick up on things late sometimes, or I have the inclination to do things when other people have done them at a younger age, and I've taken my time, and I don't mind that. Sometimes I do wish I had done stuff earlier in my life, and I'm doing those things now, but still, it's okay to bloom in my own time. So I like that card. So on the back of this, see if I can hold it up and read it. Buy yourself a bunch of your favorite flowers and spread them and spend time with them today. Notice each of the stems and how the flowers are formed. Notice the petals and the patterns they create. Look at the flowers from other angles. Often we only look at one dimension of the flower and miss the beauty of the other faces. Contemplate how each flower comes into bloom at different times and for a given period. It never blossoms, or it never blooms 365, 24/7, and you don't have to either. That's kind of a really cool phrase. Yeah, I think this one's probably my favorite card. This one kind of speaks to me most, I was going to say most often, but that doesn't make sense. It speaks to me the most. So I'm going to set it kind of over here. Let's try and shuffle through some more of these ones. Let's take that whole stack, put it right in there. Maybe I can try and separate these here. And let some of them slide into each other. Most of them is falling down, really. I would do a standard shuffle, but I feel like that's going to be way too loud and flappy and just kind of annoying for a relaxing video. Let's do a shuffle. And then let's randomly grab just this card here. I choose to focus on the positives today. That's a really good mantra. I wonder if I'm using that word right. I should look it up after this. Focus on the positives. In your meditation today, pay attention to the positive things in your life. Choose one positive as you inhale. Breathe that thought in As you exhale, breathe it out again with a smile. Repeat. You can continue with that one positive thought or choose a new positive thought for each breath. After a few breaths, notice how you feel. As you go through your day, make a note of the good things for times when life needs a little sweetening. I really like this one too. I love the idea of positivity journaling. Some people will get an actual journal and write down the things physically. I don't do that so much, but I do love to often and very often look around me and just be thankful for something. Be thankful for like a cool pen that I have, or a very soft blanket, or maybe the technology that I have. The time that I live in where so much technology is abundant. Or even just like a really tasty piece of candy that I'm eating. Or the fact that my shoelaces are laying exactly the same on each foot. Just on little things like that. But I think looking and finding those things to be positive about kind of takes up your whole mind and your whole attention, and it kind of fills your brain and your whole energy with positivity. If you're doing that very often, you're just not so often looking at the negatives. I do believe in yin and yang, and I do believe negatives are valuable, but if you can use them in a logical way or some sort of way that'll help your life, that's a way to use negatives. But I feel like positives are a little easier to use. They're a little easier to just have and to use right off the bat without having to think about them. You can just notice them and take them in, and that'll help brighten your day. Kind of a long ramble, but that's what I gotta do. I really like those two cards. I think that will be the last